Okay, hello, this is Rani Ahmed with you. This is lesson 2 in writing using the computer language named Objective-C on the Macintosh operating system. And then this tutorial will be like writing our first program, okay, in Objective-C. Now, from the last time, you remember that we managed to put, and not just managed to put, we put, I mean, the Xcode and moved it to the applications, okay, and then here I have the Xcode over here, and then move it, please, move it to the dock here just to have it as a shortcut, okay, similar to what I have in here, okay, so I can quickly access at any time the applications. Now to start, we start with clicking on the Xcode and click here, create new Xcode project, okay. Now this project is a folder that will hold all our files, and those files will be or will contain or are supposed to be written on them our code, okay, and our compilation of code. Now I have three options by default, okay. I have the Cocoa application, I have the Cocoa AppleScript application, and I have the command line application. I can write any of them for now, okay, and there are other things you can write in Objective-C here, or in C or in C++. They are available too, okay. Now what is Cocoa application? Now Macintosh uses a library, which is and the library does not mean like your books library. No, it is like a set of functions, okay, it's a set of functions having different functions, okay. It's a set of functions having like I use it to make something special, okay, and they are defined under one category, okay. So I use them just for not to repeat not to repeat the same code that has been written by somebody else, okay, and that same code is already made for us. So Cocoa is the library that's used to create applications that has windows and buttons and yada yada. So those are called Cocoa applications. Those are GUI applications, okay. So the applications of such style, okay, are called GUI applications, which is graphical user interface applications. So anything like having buttons and windows and things like that, it's a GUI application, and Cocoa is a library that's used to do such applications. Now next is I have a Cocoa AppleScript application. It's the same, but it's instead of using Objective-C, you write using AppleScript, okay. This I don't know about it yet. And I have the other way, which is using a command line tool, which means that I must like my program runs from the command line using the terminal, and to access the terminal you go to the applications here. Sorry, not in the notes for me. So you go to applications, and then I move to the utilities folder. Okay, and here I have the terminal. Please drag it to the dock over here, okay, because we might need it many times. Okay, so just as a hint for you, what is a terminal? This is the terminal. Okay, and then for example, if I want to list my files, this is ls. Okay, and this is for example the downloads I have, or desktop, whatever. You can list those folders. So I don't want to go so much into the command line, but just understand this is ls is a command, rm is to delete, things like this. So anything that runs from the shell or this terminal, okay, is called a command line tool. Okay, because you type it on a command line, or alignment for commands, not for commands. So next, I click command line tool because this is what they usually start teaching any language with. Okay, starting with a GUI is a much more complicated way to teach, so you must understand the very basics of everything. So you type next. Now in here I just type a project name, for example my hello world, because I'm going to world. Okay, this is organization name, company identifier, just put any company identifier. Okay, now this is not a foundation, it must not be a foundation for now, it has to be C. Okay, foundation is that when we reach Objective-C, serious programming, now we are starting with the basics of Objective-C, which are the same basics of the C programming language. Okay, both are Objective-C and C are the same. Okay, the same language almost. Okay, now I press next. Then he's asking me where will the folder my hello world will exist. Okay, which will be the project folder. Okay, and the create local JIT repository is just for, you know, when you have a very huge project and you want to monitor the different versions of that project. Okay, of such a project, so you can get the older versions and get differences and see the changes in every release. Okay, and every version of every revision of the project. So I press create, I put it in the documents folder. Okay, and here is the path where the folder is saved. Okay, now my project always starts running from the file named main.c. Now in C, the main file, okay, has to use the extension .c. Okay, so this is main.c, and I click on it. Now this is our code. Now I want you to start with discarding the colors. Those are just for readability reasons. Okay, you can write in any editor other than Xcode. Okay, and doesn't have to have colors, and you can still compile and build the application. Now yeah, so before I go into running this and explaining the code, okay, first we have to understand a concept. Okay, now this is a code, okay, written in C, and the same thing can be used for Objective-C. Okay, but what's going on is when I compile an application, like there must be everything, okay, transformed into the language of your CPU, the central processing unit, okay, the processor. So so if you were on an Intel CPU, okay, or an AMD CPU, okay, they almost have the same code, okay, same language of their processor. But if you, for example, move to ARM for the mobile phones, or for example to a Spark machine, okay, or an Alpha machine, every one of those has a different code, okay, has different interpretation of the C code. So, but they do the same thing, okay. So maybe you say it's like adding many things and multiplying those things, okay, a number of times to get the same value, okay, like 2 times 6, I mean 2 times 3 is equivalent to, this is one processor, for example, can do this, okay. Another processor can only do just addition, which is like 3 plus 3, okay. Both are equivalent, okay. But what we do in C is just write one common language that will be interpreted by the compiler to a different, like according to the current processor, okay. And this is something like what we call assembly language, and assembly language is like something like this: AX, and I start with move AX and move 3 into the register AX, and I don't know, sub AX 1, just delete 1, and this way. So this is like a very annoying way to write codes to make those beautiful programs. So they wrote something more suitable, and that's why we get some languages like C and Objective-C. Now, so compilation means to transform all that code into an assembly code to machine code, okay. Now let's explain what's inside this code, okay. So this screen area, and please still discard the colors, but just for presentation issues, this green area is a comment, okay. Why? Because if every line is preceded by those forward slashes, okay, it means that this line must be ignored, okay. So the computer or the compiler will ignore this line, and it will not care what's inside it. So those are comments. So you use them just, for example, you are in a company and you're writing, but doesn't mean you have to be in a company. Maybe you're writing your own code, but for example, like weeks after you forgot about what's going on, or maybe because you're working and you have like your tasks at home, okay, you know, like homemaking and things like that. So things will like take you, okay. You will forget what's going on. So you know, next day you'll forget what's going on. So what would you do? Okay, so that's why we leave comments in our code, okay. So it will tell us and guide us what has happened in the last time. So we have those, each line, if a line is preceded at its start with double forward slashes, is a comment, okay. This can be also a comment, okay, and what's after those 2 forward slashes will be also ignored, okay. Now Also, another way to comment is that if this is taking just only one line, okay, what if I want to comment a whole paragraph or disable a whole paragraph of code? Okay, because you can still use this as a matter of disabling code. So look at this. Okay, now I disable this. Now I'm getting changes in the Xcode. Okay, so this way I'm disabling things, because as you notice, each line of those has a meaning, a crucial meaning. So so if I want to disable a whole paragraph, I can just do this. Okay, and for example, if I go like this, I can just disable it. Okay, and this is all comments. So between the forward slash and star or asterisk and the star forward slash, so this, okay, this one and this one, okay, anything between them will be ignored. Okay, however they are, okay, I mean whatever they are, like anything between them will be ignored. Okay, however you break the lines, however you make lines, it takes sweeps a whole paragraph. Okay, so let's remove it, and I can make, for example, my own here comments like this. Okay, so this is it. This is another comment of mine. Okay, I'm doing things. So this is just how to add comments. Next, now in my program is supposed to print on the shell or in the terminal or in the output results, that when I run it, see, if I press Command and R, or if I press product and go to run, I click here, so I get hello world and is printed out. Okay, you can just make it like this. Okay, so hello world, and this will be printed out. What made it be printed out is this instruction named printf. This is a function, okay, but it doesn't return anything. A function usually in math, for example, you want the sign, maybe the power of 2 to 3 to the power 3, 2 to the power 3. Okay, you get a value, okay, which is 8. Cool. 2 times 2 times 2 to 3, like 2 multiplied by itself 3 times, so you get 8. So here you get a value. Here you don't have to get a value. Okay, and it doesn't return any. Anyway, just understand that this is a function. Main also here is a function with other parameters. Okay, and we will come to functions later. There's a whole special lesson for it. Okay, and next is the line include, this hash include, the hash, you have to write the hash include, okay, is an instruction that will ask the C compiler, okay, to include this stdio.h file. It's a header file. Those are called header files. This is like a library, as I told you. Okay, and printf is defined and has its code defined inside this file, stdio.h, standard input output. std is standard, I for input and O for output, so standard input output. This is related to using the input and output from the keyboard. Okay, so and the location of this file is somewhere known to the compiler by default. Okay, it's the include folder, the default include folder. Now So the compiler will read this, so it will include the definition of printf, okay, and then when the program wants to start running, it looks for the function named int main, okay, and argc and argv those are just like options, similar to, like, not options, those are the values that are passed into the program using options, something like this. When I press -L, so the -L is just one of those argv, argc values, okay. Now for now, just write the statement here, int main as is, okay, and this way the program will print on the screen the sentence hello world. And next I have, and the program ends with return 0, and notice that every statement here must end with a semicolon, okay, otherwise, look, I will have a compilation error, so the compiler won't let me create or build a program ready for usage, okay. Now because in a main here is a function, and because this is an int, which means this is an integer, we'll come to the variable types, okay, later, and the data types later. So because this is this function main has this word int, which means an integer, okay, a solid number, okay, not fractions. So this means that this function must return a value, okay, and this is returned to the operating system, okay. The main returns to the operating system something, okay. Just understand that, take it for granted. So but because I'm saying main is returning something, I must have a sentence that will do returning, and this is the instruction, which we call return, and any number will do. So I put usually 0, okay, carelessly, without thinking. It will be 0, and it will return to the operating system 0, and therefore I must end it with a semicolon, because this is a sentence, a complete sentence, okay. So when the program finishes, okay, it sends to the operating system the value 0. Cool. Now this is everything for now, okay, about running the application, writing our first program. Now let's go into more details of the printf, okay. Now every string must start with a double quote and end with another double quote, okay, this one and this one, okay. So this is a string. This is what we call a string, okay, in computer terms. So string of characters, because there's a sequence of characters. So this is string, okay. For example, here I have a space, so if I added more spaces, those spaces count. Each one is a character, but we don't see it, okay, but the computer, there is a value which we call space. So this is if I save it. You should save the code first, press the command, you can press command and S. Those who are using VMware, okay, use the Windows flag key, okay, and the S character. So I saved it, then command and R, so I can run it. So look, I have now more space written on this statement, but you notice that I have something here which is a /n. Where did /n go? Now there's something what we call escaping, but to understand escaping, for now I have here /n together slash and the character slash and the character and together they make the new line, the break of a line. So this means like if I do this and press for example some gibberish, okay, so if I run it, you'll see that the word gibberish and the word hello world are together attached to each other. Okay, of course there's the exclamation mark which should not ignore it too. So but this exclamation mark has no language meaning, and I mean has no meaning in the Objective-C or the C programming language here, especially in this statement. So if I run it, so you see the J is attached to the mark to the D. Okay, but if I put /n, or let me say if I put n now and run it again, you see n is between the mark and the J. Okay, but if I put a /n, now you see gibberish is broken. So this is what we call escaping. Okay, now to escape more, okay, the slash, because I want to print the slash, press another slash, and this is S, this is R, and this is how I get /n, okay, being printed. If I put another slash, it will be like this. So this one will be counted as, or will count as one slash, and this one is counted as a new line. Look at this. See? So you look at when you see a backslash, count each two. Okay? So this is the first two, this is the second two as a different character. Now I have another way or another type of slash blah, which is /t. Okay, and this is for making tabs. Okay, you'll see like a spaces of almost like 8 characters each. So it's like you press the tab button on your keyboard like this. You get something like this space, this much almost. So this is S for saving, I mean, and this is Command R, and look how I got a space. Okay, so it's good to use it for tabulation. So if I make it like /t here and /t here, so you see equal spaces coming in. Okay, here and here. Maybe if I want to just repeat this line also, you can do that. It's another instruction. You're asking the computer to do it. Control C, print here, Control V, V. You see it like it's almost like a table. Okay, no, sorry. I have to add a /n so I can write everything on a new line. So it's best to add a new line at the end. So you feel like it's a table because of the /t. So by now I think that concludes it for the current lesson, and please subscribe using your YouTube account, and type your comments, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.